Hey, welcome back if you're a previous viewer. Welcome to my vlog if you're new. As I was looking around the painting room, I happened to find this amazing poster that has apparently been here all semester. It was just waiting for me to discover it so that I could use it as reference. This time I wanted to go into some wet technique. So that's when you start with your paper already damp, or you pre-dampen it before you start painting, and then you get your brush fairly wet as well, so that the color will bleed throughout the page. And it ends up being really painterly and it has a very interesting and distinctly watercolor kind of look to it, which I really enjoy. This was, I think, the second or third thing my teacher showed us how to do. And in the initial phases of it, it was going really well. And I could see where my shapes were forming and I could enjoy the patterns that were coming out of it. But he didn't show us how to take it to that next step and refine it. And I found that really frustrating because I looked around and as people's papers were drying, they were getting more detailed. And I didn't know how to take it from the gestural wet quality to the specific dry quality that you can get. So, like painting from life, this is something that I need to practice. So to paint this amazing poster that I clearly had no idea was there, I decided to go for some really bold color choices and push entirely out of realism or out of strict realism. So I used a yellow and I used some red for the shading, and I ended up using a fair bit of brown as well. My challenge with this one was to have a balance of both letting the colors blend while they're wet and knowing when to go in for more detail when the paper was drier, and not just recognizing that the paper was dry, but actually going for it and really trying to reach different levels of the specificity of my mark. And one of the hard things for me was that I kept wanting to do a wet color technique right next to a place that was still drying, and so the colors would bleed together and I would have to pick it back up with either a paper towel or with my paintbrush, and that would lighten the image and kind of wouldn't mess it up necessarily, but it kind of detracted a little from what I wanted to go for. I wanted to give it a strong background color that would pop, and that of course meant I had to jump for a complementary color because I always do that. I think, oh, I'll need something to make this more stand out more. What can I put behind it? It's kind of blue. Orange. Freaking orange. It's gonna be an orange background, I guarantee it. It might be a red orange and it might be a yellow orange, but it's gonna be an orange background. Or in this case, it's, greenish. Looking at the original and comparing it to my final image, how's it hold up? No. I'm just kidding. Don't answer that, please. All right, that's it for wet technique, and thanks for watching.